So there were new beings planted in the garden, and these beings, despite the intent of their creation, were still human in nature, and therefore goodness was in them from birth. Primarily, they had been created to function as sources of food for the collection of gods that had been possessed by evil. Secondarily, they were to be used as physical vessels to be possessed by the gods. Once possessed, they would be used to carry out evil's plan to spread death and destruction on earth. The possessed gods, which had been groomed for malicious intent towards humanity, found that their need for energy was greater than it was before. Furthermore, through their affiliations with evil, the possessed gods had been changed. Somehow, evil had bonded itself to the very soul of the possessed gods, and in so doing, something strange happened. The possessed gods devolved into the realm of the demonic. They had become demon gods. Like all newly demonic things, the demon gods needed even more energy to exist in the realm of the demonic. You see, the demonic realm is denser than the realm of the gods. There are also physical limitations in the demonic realm, which creates one of the primary tenets of that realm, namely, that denser energy levels are needed to exist there. But where would the needed energy come from? Who or what would provide it?
We need more energy if we are to exist in the realm of the demonic,
said one of the demonic gods.
Where will we get the energy from?
Asked another. And from within them, from within the evil in them, came the most devious scheme ever created by the demonic gods. 3 things were created by them, and these 3 things were placed on the back of a dragon, which had long existed in the demonic realm. This dragon crossed the great void and entered into the realm of humanity, bringing with it the 3 things on its back. Down it came into the garden, where it found the man and the woman that had been created by the now demonic gods. The woman was wiser than her counterpart, for she had wanted to leave the garden, hoping to connect with ancient humanity on earth. In her mind, the garden was nothing more than a prison. This wise woman, who had love in her heart, had long since dreamed of being free. More importantly, she wanted to know the relationship between the gods and evil. But the demonic gods had hoped to keep and reproduce this new breed of humanity. And in order to do this, the new breed would have to be kept in a state of spiritual and intellectual stasis. The new breed would have to be denied all forms of higher knowledge, the knowledge that would make them immune to possession. Possession has always been the primary means of controlling humanity. Demonic entities of all kinds are quite aware of this method of control. They are also aware of the fact that ignorance and trauma are the primary gateways to possession. Therefore, at all costs, the new breed would be denied the knowledge of the relationship of the gods and evil, the knowledge that would provide immunity from possession. The knowledge of the relationship between the gods and evil is simply a representation of higher intellectual and spiritual consciousness. When one is intellectually and spiritually conscious, they have an awareness of themselves and all things around them. This consciousness, when left to its natural growth, will evolve to higher levels of awareness, including the awareness of the gods and evil. It is then, and only then, that the human being will attain factual free will. The human being can then see that it has options in the direction of its own affairs on earth and beyond. More importantly, this level of awareness is the greatest defense against possession. When these levels of awareness are made unattainable, which is the goal of the superstructure, humanity can be easily manipulated into a state of intellectual and spiritual ignorance. It is in this state of intellectual and spiritual ignorance that the human being can most easily be susceptible to possession. With this revealed, I ask that you also understand that the superstructure uses countless means towards that end. Television, radio, internet, schooling, all forms of entertainment, trauma, pain, all forms of sexual perversion, materialism, homosexuality, pedophilia, religion, the defilement of women, the feminization of men, drugs, alcohol, food, all of these things and countless others are used within the superstructure as physical, sexual, mental, intellectual, and spiritual programming, the intent of which is to place humanity into a state wherein human beings can be easily possessed by the demonic gods. I hope that it is becoming clearer to you how possession is attainable when humanity is unconscious or unaware of its true potential and power, when it lacks higher consciousness.